Okay, this is going to be a video about inputs, and this should all be fairly common knowledge, I guess, but I think a lot of people just haven't really looked into it and don't realize what the problem is. Basically, there are two problems with inputs. One is that, depending on the operating system, pretty much when you unplug and plug in an input, holy shit, this bottle is on so tight, I can't even get it off. Um, Depending on the operating system and all that, like if you have two gamepads, and you set it up so the first one's player one, the second one's player two, and you unplug them, plug them back in, whatever, they can get swapped. And if they're different pads, the things are going to be mixed up, and then MAME's going to say stuff like, "Oh, we dropped inputs because it didn't, this other thing that we found didn't have it." So MAME has the concept of stable inputs, device mapping, and let me go to the INI to show you this. So you'll notice that there is this controller path in your MAME INI, and this is basically just a place where you can put different device mappings. And so when you run MAME, if you run it with verbose, just type in MAME and then just do, hyphen verbose. And then you look at the log, you can see how it says it found all these different devices. It found this keyboard, it found these game controllers, whatever, X input compatible device. And so the important thing though is, see where it says VID and PID? That's the vendor ID and the product ID. Those are basically what most programs use to key in on these things. So basically in this case, I've made a gamepad CFG file, and I saved that in my controller folder. And then you can see how I have it here set, where I'm basically saying that for the gamepad that has this vendor ID and it has this product ID, this is always going to be player one. So it doesn't matter if I unplug things, and replug them back in or whatever, MAME is always going to find it. And the thing is, even this isn't perfect because like the root of the problem is basically devices don't have unique identifiers. Like if you have two Xbox 360 pads, they both have the same vendor ID and the same product ID. So they're not really truly unique. There are some nice, devices like UHID, stuff like that Ultimark thing. That thing actually lets you, in the configuration, define an arbitrary vendor and product ID. So if you have like two UHIDs, you can actually just give them arbitrary shit and make them unique. And then that way you can set it up so that your controls will never be dropped because you're always going to have a unique identifier for the things that you have. But that's kind of what's going on there. So as you can see, because I was thinking about this, I rolled up my sleeves and actually did a shitload of work to try to accommodate this in Final Fight. And actually what I did is, far better than what's in MAME actually. MAME basically tries to read your registry to find out stuff like, what's the name of the device and everything. But if you notice though, like if I just launch Samurai Showdown 2 in MAME, and then I go into, inputs and input devices. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, so if I go into inputs and input devices, see how you basically just have like X input, HID, blah, 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 HID, HID, HID. Well, that sucks. That isn't human. It's kind of shitty. But you can see I have 3 gamepads connected. Okay, so let me show you what I did. Taking full advantage of all of the Windows API skullduggery. I'm actually querying all this stuff, and look at how crazy this shit is now. if I go to keyboard, right, and I do the mapping, it actually knows. It actually tells you, okay, you have a Razer product, and the product is Razer Huntsman V2 analog. This is some shitty, analog keyboard that I have, and this is what's crazy. Even fucking though you don't technically need it in Final Fight, because in Final Fight you can just use its interface to do it, and you don't have to type a single thing. You can just literally control it all with your fucking gamepads. But just as a nicety, I actually tell you what the vendor ID and the product ID is of all your shit. So I mean, so if nothing else, this is actually a pretty useful visualization for people to go and just check and see, like, oh yeah, like, what do I actually have? So look at this. It's basically saying configure keyboard 1. Okay. Now look at how crazy this shit is. If I just arbitrarily say, you know what? I don't want this thing to be keyboard 1 anymore. I actually want it to be keyboard 3. I can simply just say set stable keyboard, select 3, press enter, and now I can map the controls, and now this thing it's fucking, keyboard 3. See, look at that shit. And I mean that's what like this is unprecedented. I mean literally nobody has ever done this. Nobody has actually made this complete of an input solution. Like, this is fucking in-game shit. I mean really, like, I think this should actually embarrass people. I really think this version of Final Fight, when it's done, I mean that's kind of what I want it to be. I want it just to be an example of, like, look, this is what you could have done if you weren't cocksuckers. I mean, like, there are people that literally have 9-to-5 jobs. This is all they do, and games ship without input rebinding, okay? Like, they don't, like, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game literally doesn't let you fucking rebind the controls. Think about that. I mean, we're talking different universe. Light years, trillions of light years separated here. I mean, like, this think about just how much on another level this is. I mean this is beyond just mapping inputs. This is like no typing, no bullshit. I just say, ooh, now you're that fucking keyboard. And this thing, and this is all and here's what's crazy too. Like, like the names of everything that we're getting from this. This isn't like a database. Like, this isn't using USB or USB IDs or like any external file or anything. This is straight up code querying the Windows drivers, getting the information. And that's why I did this, because I'm sick of shit being inhuman. I'm fucking sick of crap just obviously being lame just because the people that made it were fucking lazy. Like this is human. Like, we're gonna fucking tell you what the name of this thing is. And look at how crazy this shit is. It applies to, of course, the joysticks too. So right now I have an Xbox pad, a Logitech Rumble pad, and a PlayStation 4 gamepad connected to this computer, right? So look what happens when I press on the Logitech pad. Look at that fucking crap, and you can see how I have the stable input set. So this Logitech cordless Rumble pad is always going to be the third joystick, no matter what. I'm telling you, man, it's pretty fucking amazing, actually. Like this was a shitload of work. I mean, I really did bust my ass, to get all this in here. And then you can see, go to let's do the PlayStation. You see that shit? Like, this is what the Sony driver actually gives you when you ask it. And see how I have the stable input set. So really, like, I mean, this is it, man. This is the real fucking deal. You don't have to type a single thing. You can just configure it completely using the fucking gamepad that you're gonna bind to something. I mean, really, like, this should be the standard that all games are set to. I mean, like every fucking game should have this. Like there is no excuse, because really, I mean, I am just doing this shit in my spare time. Okay? Like, there is no excuse for people who fucking do this for a living. Like, all they do is make shitty games, with an emphasis on shitty, for a living. And this just tells you, like, how low effort that fucking crap is. Like, they are not lifting a fucking finger to make life better for their customers. They fucking blow. The video game industry fucking sucks. It's full of fucking incompetence, man. I mean, what's really going on is, There is no PC game development. There isn't. There's console game development, and then somebody clicks on a drop down in an IDE and they recompile it for the PC, cross their fucking fingers, and upload it to Steam. That's basically what happens. They really don't make PC games anymore. We get basically recompiles of console games because these fucks are so lazy. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I keep fucking adding to this shit, and let me I want to show you. It's kind of interesting to see. Oh, I don't have it plugged in right now, but something else that I added to the game, like actual, remember games, remember actual fun. So something that I like about games, I always like little things extra that you can do while you're playing that tack on to abilities. And so something that I always loved is in Yu Yu Hakusho for the Mega Drive. Basically, like when you do an uppercut on somebody, if you tap the attack button while you uppercut, it basically makes you, like do additional hits, additional chains, on the uppercut. And I mean, obviously, right? I mean, I love the Treasure games and everything, and it was a huge inspiration on this game. And so here's what I've done. Basically, now when you do an uppercut with Cody and other characters that can do uppercuts, if you hold down, or press, the attack button that you use to do the uppercut while you're uppercutting, like basically you can just keep digging in more and more to the person that you're uppercutting. So look at this shit. So if I just do like a basic uppercut, it's a 2-hitter, right? See, 1-2 hits twice, right? But see, if I get in there and I hold it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, as long as I hold it down, it'll keep hitting, and basically you have complete control. Like, and it is really a gameplay trade-off, because basically if you have no enemies coming at you from behind, it's probably worth it to just like dig in and get some extra hits. But if somebody's sneaking up behind you, you probably just want to do just do the 2 hits, let it in, get out of it faster, and then respond. I mean, and like I said, just let me demonstrate the granular control you have over this. Like, I mean, like just on command, you can do whatever you want. So like right now, arbitrarily, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna hit this fuck 3 times, three uppercut hits. Watch this. Oh well, if I don't fucking kill him. See, look, 1, 2, 3. See, I have complete control. Here, I'll do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well, he died. 1, 2. Yeah, but 1, 2, 3. See, basically, you can control it. Like if I really dig in here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. See, you can just basically control exactly how many like how much damage you do, and it's really satisfying. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I can just arbitrarily decide how much I'm going to dig in on the uppercuts. Each time depending on what's going on, and like I said, I love little details like that. Little just like little gameplay details that. Like it's what distinguishes really good games from just just random crap. Just like little things like that. So it feels really good, and that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm working on right now. Just that kind of final like polish where it's just really puts the button on all of these things so that it just feels perfect. So in any case, that's the input stuff. I'll upload. Yeah, and let me before I forget, so like with MAME, I show, I'm gonna paste this on YouTube, so you can see. But the other thing too that you have to remember, because I mean it's such a clusterfuck, but so you have your controller path, but it's not that simple. You also have to go to this core input options under here and see where it says controller. You actually have to put the name of the CFG file there, or it won't use it. And but the flexibility here though is that you can actually have different controller configurations for different games. So if you specify like different commands with MAME, you could basically say, this game is going to use this controller file, and this other game is going to use this controller file. So in one game, player 1 can be something, and then in another game, player 1 can be something else. So that is what's going on with the device remapping in MAME. It's a useful thing. It's a sad reality that we need it. It's really like I said. I always say it, man. Like USB fucking sucks. It's a piece of shit. It was always garbage. I mean, it's just funny because it's like USB basically couldn't have been more terrible than it is, for what it was intended to be used for. Like, it's slow. It doesn't have a unique ID for the devices, so you can't fucking uniquely identify and tie things together. It really was a piece of shit. Like we can't get away from USB fast enough. I'm so afraid that it's just like never gonna go away. But we really should get something else because it fucking sucks.